In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a graded assignment in Google Forms. So first you want to click on your waffle and find Google Forms, just your grid apps. I just call it a waffle. All right, then you're going to click on blank quiz. If you want it to be graded, I always click on blank quiz because it automatically sets it up as a quiz. All right, then you want to give it a title. So let's just say you're going to do soil, rocks, and landforms quiz and give it a description. Watch the video and then answer the following questions. And then you can also title it up here as well. All right, so your first question should always be name. So if I just click on name, it automatically changes it to short answer. And you don't want to give that one any points. So don't forget to do that. Then your next thing, you might want to do a date. So if I just type in date, it automatically changes it to date, where they can just click on the box and it'll bring up a calendar for them just to click on the date. They don't actually have to type it in. All right, so on the right hand side is where I am adding another section. So if you want to add sections where they have to go one page at a time, you can add a section if you want them to click on the next page. So I can title this one soil. Another section could be rocks, and another section could be landforms. All right, then to put in your questions, I'm just going to go back to section 2 and click on any of these. So if I want to put in a video, I'm going to click Add Video. And your only options are a video search or a URL. So it has to already be on the web. You can't upload a video here. So I'm just going to type in Bill Nye soil. Okay, and there's one on rocks and soil. So I can click that and select it, and it puts it in here. Now I'm not going to title it or anything. And then I'm going to ask a question about it. So I always number it. That's a good habit so that you can tell your students to go back and look at number 3, for example, and they'll know exactly which one you're talking about. So this is where you will type in your question and your answer choices here. If you want it to be a multiple choice. Now there are also other options. If you click that drop down, you can have a short answer, paragraph, checkboxes drop down, linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, and then that date and time, which we've already seen. So I'm going to stick with multiple choice for this one, which would mean that there is one correct answer. Now I'm going to click on answer key. And you want to first select the correct answer. So let's say it's C, and give it however many points you want. So you can give it 1 point per question, or if you have 10 questions, I like to give it 10 points so that it's out of 100 and I can easily see the percentage. So let's just give it 10 points. All right, and I'm going to show you how to do another question that has multiple choices. So let's say this one is choose all that apply. So option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, option 5. So let's go and click on that answer key again, and let's say option 2 and option 4 were both correct. Now you can't give points for both of them, so you're going to have to manually correct it if you want them to get partial credit. So you can only do a points for the total question. So let's say this one was out of 20 points, and it was 10 points per question. You would have to automatically, manually go into that question and grade it to give the partial credit. And I'll show you how to do that later. All right, so that is how you do multiple answered. Next, I will show you how to do a drop down. So this is, number it, question 3. Let's just stick with option 1, option 2, 3, 4, 5. And click on answer key. And let's just say that option 4 was correct. And give it 10 points again. All right, so that is how you do that. Let's see if there are anything else I want to show you. The linear scale, you can ask them, how confident are you with this topic? Not confident, super confident. And then they can answer it from 1 to 3. So this one you typically wouldn't give an answer for, and no points for that. So that's just the different ways. So you can just kind of play around with the different questions that you can ask. This one's mostly used for like a survey. If you wanted to send a survey out, you could use Google Forms for that. All right, so if then you wanted to go down to the next section, you would do the same thing all over again. If you want to preview what this form will look like to students, you're going to go up to the top and click on preview. And so you can see they would type in their answer here. And you can also make these required. So I'll go back and show you how to do that. And the date, like I said, it'll pop down with the calendar and you click on that. So I'm going to click on next. And then they can watch the Bill Nye video here, answer the question. So it only lets them select one here. This one, it lets them select as many as possible. And it does tell them the point values. And here's what a drop down looks like. And here's what the scale looks like. All right, so if you wanted to make, so I'm going to close that one out. If you wanted to make a question required, so you wanted to make sure they don't forget to put their name, there's this required button here. So I'm going to select required. Also, if you want to make questions easier, if they have similar answer choices, or you just want to save a little bit of time, there is this duplicate button next to the trash can. I can duplicate that, change the question number, and then just change the answer choices as well. Just make sure that your answer key reflects the correct answer. All right, so that is the basics of it. I can also show you how to customize some things. So you can customize your theme here. You can choose a different color. You can choose a header image if you'd like one. There's just different ones here. So I like this one. So that puts it at the top. All right. Another thing to always check is the settings. So if you click on the settings gear, which is next to send, I always collect email addresses, because if someone forgets to put their name, or if you accidentally forget to put that name question, then you'll know who they are based on the collect email addresses. You can also restrict it to users in your district. If you're sending out a survey, then you want to uncheck that. You can limit it to one response so they can't take the quiz over again. I usually select that. And actually, you will have to select it if you're using Google Classroom and collecting responses. I usually do let my students edit after they submit. So if I'm limiting it to one response and I want them to go back or be able to edit the responses afterwards, I select that. Presentation, I typically don't do anything with that, but just go to that tab if you wish. And quizzes, so we've already made it a quiz by clicking on blank quiz. You can release their grade immediately after each submission, and I always click that one if it's a multiple choice quiz where I don't have to manually grade anything. However, if it's that checkbox one where I have to grade something, or if it's a short answer paragraph where I have to grade something, I always click later after manual review. Then I decide what I want my respondents to see. If I allow them to retake it, I don't let them see the correct answers, but I'll let them know which questions they miss and the point values. All right, so I'll click save for that. Then the next thing I want to show you is the more. So I'm going to click on these three dots. And if you wanted to make a similar quiz, you can just make a copy of the whole quiz. You can also add collaborators here. So if I wanted to invite coworkers to help me fill out the quiz and help me make the quiz, then I can email them access to this. And that's that. All right, so now I am all ready to send this quiz to my students. So I can click this send button, and I can send it via email. So I can type in 4th grade students here, and I can find them here. Or if you use Google Classroom, that's probably the best way to do it. Oh, you can also click on the link here and copy this link directly and send a link out. So if you're sending out a survey, I like to use that and just, share it on Facebook or send that link out via email. All right, so I always use Google Classroom to upload my quiz assignments. So I'm going to go to my Google Classroom, click on classwork, and create assignment. So I'm going to title it Soil Quiz and add Google Drive, and I'm just going to find that quiz. So Soil Quiz is right here. Add that here. And now grade importing is selected. Sometimes it's weird and it's not selected, but I want to have grade importing on so that they sync to Google Classroom. And you can give it instructions as well, assign to all your students, and then click save. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Let's see if I can find a form. Here we go. So here's the form already in. And you can see that you can click on import grades here, and it will automatically import their grades straight into Google Classroom. And then you can return those grades to them through here if they didn't get it automatically. So that is the gist of Google Forms. If you have any questions, just let me know.